JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Glad that you've joined us out there, wherever it is that you might be tuning us in. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you for 2 hours on your Saturday morning. And again, Scott, good to see you. A lot going on as far as heading into fall camp and stuff, man. We've got high school football as far as 7-on-7s and everything going on in full swing. You didn't realize it's 40 days?
Yeah, it's this may give me a good
40
opportunity
days?
to give a little plug real quickly.
You're going to give a plug.
To the community in Alex City and anybody else who would be interested in participating. The
Always open the door. To
quarterback
plug,
club
right?
drawdown for Benjamin Russell, which is the staple event in terms of fundraising for the club, will be August the 4th. Tickets will start to go on sale on Monday, so we'll have some announcements on social media and in the local news outlets. But just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. I know it's been a little tumultuous bit of a off season, but we're back and on track, and the kids seem to be doing really well. OTAs have been going well, and also I think they've had a couple of camps where they've done really well, so things seem to be going in the right direction.
Yeah, they do. Again, I think for everybody involved that we're asking about the QB Club drawdown in this area, it is normally in June, but of course, Coach Grider getting here and really kind of getting a little bit of a late start. Not him getting a late start, just when we were able to get him here and on board. Kind of push things back, so we're gonna have an action-packed August. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Getting started and then moving all the way into the first football game. We'll start looking at some of these teams today around our area, running down their schedules here in the first hour. Because man, I mean, we're 40 days out. We're going to start covering some of these teams and getting you set, kind of recap what they did last year, maybe what the expectations are coming into this season for these teams. I know that this team, here in Alex City, Benjamin Russell had a lot of young guys on this team that had to contribute last year. The record really wasn't indicative of how the season went. I thought a lot of near misses, maybe because of a lot of younger guys having to fill roles and having to gain some experience. So those guys are a year older this year. They did lose some really good seniors, but they're going to be plugging in some of those holes with some really talented players. So I know they're excited about that. We'll talk about Dable. We'll talk about Reeltown, Central Clay, Coosa, Horseshoe Bend, all the teams in this local area. And then we'll talk about the top 10s in the state as far as in all the classifications. We just had a reclassification, so there's going to be some new teams in different areas, in different classifications that either moved up or moved down, depending on what the situation was. So it's here. It's hard to believe. But, boy, it's hard to imagine as scorching a heat as it's been the last couple of weeks, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, we're in the dog days of summer, literally. It has been –
the dogs ran away.
It's been super hot and humid, but that's when something like depth really is going to come into play, especially early on. And
right.
Just kind of sticking with Benjamin Russell, you talk about the record last year, and some of those younger players that we're speaking about, those first 2 or 3 games were very, very close, and so they were still getting acclimated to being on a varsity level. And so, all things considered, I'm
came down to really the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah. I mean, and there were a couple other games like that throughout that were similar. So I think that now that you have some of those guys who have that experience, and including them with some new faces coming up as well, so I think that football around here is about to get back.
You win 3 of your last 5 to close it out, and you carry some momentum into the all season with these kids as far as the confidence level is concerned. So a lot of people may go, well, that's just grabbing at straws, but no, I think there's a lot to that, especially in college football. We talk about it. It's not really about how you start; it's how you finish. Again, you want to be consistent throughout the year, but a couple of breaks here and there, and that team's easily 5-5. I know that's not what you strive to be. You're not striving to be a 500 team. You're striving to be a winning team that goes to the playoffs. But that's how close this team was last year to achieving that, and especially coming off the prior years coming in, they had some work to do as far as rebuilding and all that. So, but anyway, some turnover. Hopefully, Coach Grider, again with his staff, and we'll talk maybe about some of those guys that he's brought in, that he's hired to lead the offensive and the defensive sides of the ball. Lots of experience. Seems like the kids really like these guys, and some excitement around that. But Scott will also talk about, of course, Auburn and Alabama today. Some commitments that were made in the last week and a half. One big commitment yesterday that didn't go in Alabama's favor, that still I don't think he'll end up at this place. But I think maybe at the end of the day he ends up coming back to Alabama, because there's a lot of water to go under the bridge here between now and December. And I'm glad these kids go ahead and make decisions and commit, but until the ink's on the line, it doesn't really matter. So Alabama's still going to recruit this particular kid. We'll talk about him later on the show. Really hard. You can bet on that, especially being at the high school he's at, and the kind of feeder program they've had to Alabama. I mean, it's just the truth, man. I mean, it's just been a direct line. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you this. Auburn had a feeder program coming from Benjamin Russell for a few years. I mean, we had 4 or 5 guys that ended up being, at Auburn, playing at Auburn and making their commitment to go to Auburn. And sometimes you get a run like that. And but Thompson's had a run like none other of really top players. And, they've had some guys go some other places, but a lot of their top guys have been feeding right into Alabama. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up there. But, may end up sticking with his commitment. The world of recruiting is so much different now anyway. You don't know what kind of deal's in place. You don't know what's been done to convince somebody to make a decision. So it's not what it used to be as far as what we think, oh, it'll just flip back, because there may be some things that are signed, some obligations that hold people accountable to the decision they make now. That could be a flip side to all this flipping and flopping. You may end up knocking a lot of that out with some of these top-ranked recruits, Scott, because you lock them in with some deals through NIL that otherwise, now technically they're not supposed to do that because they're not on campus yet, but that's going on.
Yeah, and I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, but that's actually a really valid point.
I mean, the quarterback from Tennessee, or from California going to Tennessee, I mean, where's he? He's not going to change his commitment. If it's an $8 million deal through some other deal. So, I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think that probably gets guys to sign earlier too. But, if you're a team like Auburn, you've got 30, 31 slots open. Seen some early projections. They're looking at probably 24 to 26 guys and end up committing when the class is over. A lot of that will have to do with the success of what happens in the fall. And, if Auburn has another subpar season, then some of these guys that are on the fringe of being a target for Auburn or being a commitment for Auburn, probably, they're not coming. So a lot of what's riding with Auburn's success recruiting will be what happens on the field. And I know that applies for a lot of people, but if you've had a string of, not good years, it makes it a lot easier for other teams to, deter kids from coming, because they know how the outcome of your season and your coach is really determined on what happens in the fall.
Subpar meaning, what do you think subpar is? Less than 7 wins?
I think seven's probably that's a floor. Like, I would almost
the floor.
Yeah, I think. Well, when I think for him staying, if 7 would be, but for some reason I just feel like this is one of those years, because there's so much anticipation and people's expectation level probably isn't as high. This is typically when Auburn has a decent season. Now, this is not to say they're going 15-0 or anything like that, but if they could win 8-9 games, I think that would be phenomenal.
definitely turned the script. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think that's one of the things that, you know, we talked about on Gary's show yesterday. They've got to have some early success to maybe convince some of these guys to go ahead and commit. I mean, I think realistically most of the recruits that are looking at Auburn really like what they see and what they want to and what they want to be part. It's got what they want to be part of, and they don't have to win 9-10 games to be convincing. They just got to show that the program's going. Hey, the program's solid, and you know they've gone through a couple of different things here in the last year and a half that were really beyond their control. So they're going to buy in to come and help and try to build the program back to where it needs to be. So
I mean, if you don't have the end of the season that you had, even if you'd have just gone 500 in those games that you lost, I mean, you're looking at Brian Harsin as somebody who people are talking about has an opportunity to probably get Auburn to a possible SEC championship game, possible SEC Coach of the Year coming in. There would have been the script would have been a lot different coming in. So obviously, like you said, with Benjamin Russell, that momentum was good going in for them.
Right.
For Auburn,
it was opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is how you look at a program maybe going into an off season into the next year. And I know people talk about winning that bowl game, and I don't think there's a lot of credence put into winning a bowl game for momentum going into the next year. I think it's more about how you finish the season overall. And Auburn tailed off and just had a I don't really know what the word is that slipped in my mind. Not disappointing doesn't cover it. It's just a total collapse almost, really, based off where they were coming out of that Arkansas game and then heading in. If you looked at Auburn's remaining schedule, you thought, man, they got 8 wins in the bag. They ain't win another game. I'm like, what in the world? So, flip side, Benjamin Russell didn't start off good. First half of the season, didn't win a game. Won 3 of the last 5, and we're in the other 2 games coming down the stretch. So, gives you a better feel of what comes back or what goes into spring. So it's all perception, I think, all the way around. We're up against our first break of the program, just getting started on this Saturday morning. Glad that you've joined us out there, and we'll be back here in just a little bit.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you till 9 o'clock on this Saturday. A little gloomy out there this morning, a little overcast. Hey, kind of okay to see it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's been blistering hot. It's high school football time. 40 days out. Don't know if you've been following our social media accounts. We've been doing a countdown started at 50 days. I think we're at 40 today. We've been highlighting a former standout here in the state of Alabama that wore that particular number that day. Had Major Ogilvy, 42 from Alabama, had Antonio Langham, 43. Could have either been his high school or his college number, doesn't matter, or maybe in the pro. We had Marlon Humphrey, who wears 44 at the Baltimore Ravens. So it's been cool to go back, and we'll continue that all the way up until the start of the high school football season. So, Scott, something you and I always do every year is we look at current streaks in high school football and who's holding on to those streaks. We had Fife lose their winning streak this past year, and they had the nation's longest winning streak going at the same time. So when they lost that game, knocked them out of a lot of different things. Didn't knock the program down, but it just eliminated that winning streak. The current winning streak now in the state of Alabama belongs to, can you guess?
Is it North Alabama?
It is.
I don't know. I can't think. In my mind,
Clay Chalk.
Really?
Drew Gilmer. So head coach Drew Gilmer, Clay Chalville, they won a state championship this past year, and very good team, very good program. You could see what he was doing with that program and getting them closer and closer every year, and finally got over the hump. And
who did they beat?
Hueytown.
Yeah.
So very, very good Hueytown. A very high scoring game, electric. Both of those teams return a lot. Should be another battle up there in the Birmingham area for another possibility for a state championship. Losing streak, obviously, this is not one you want to be associated with, but Columbia High School has 62 consecutive games. So, looking to get off the snide at some point. The only way you can do it is just to keep lacing up the shoes and putting the helmet on and going out and practicing and seeing that next game. That's the next opportunity to get off the snide. So, regular season winning streak, current winning streak for regular season games only.
No.
Yeah, it would have been a good guess, but
that was my guess would have been
Pike Road at 29. So they bust into the record books right now with 29 game regular season winning streak. Okay, region games. Now we all know, man, it's tough to win region games. It's tough to win regions. This determines who goes to the playoffs and who does not. this particular program has really been doing well. The coach, the program's just bought in. They've been a staple at the top of their classification for the last 5 or 6 years, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Lynette, Scott, with 33 consecutive region wins. That's pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who has followed the program, their program, knows what they have in a head coach in Clifford Story, and that has been a primary component in the success. That and, the kids that he's had, obviously they've had tremendous talent, but they have really
But he hadn't won with just his kid.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's both of his boys have been stellar, and they're going to go on to play. One's already signed with college, and the other one's moving on. They're just part of everything around them, and they have been a star-studded group of kids over there at Lynette.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that continue there, but that's a big number.
Big number there for Lynette. Hey, proud of that school because, look, we've been covering high school football for well over 20 years. That has not been the case for Lynette, in those earlier years we were covering them, and that was a program that was struggling. So get the right coach in there, right mindset, you see what they've been able to pull off. Region losing streak, 57 region losses for Brindley Mountain, so maybe they'll get off the snide as well. We don't like to see those streaks. We like to see those streaks broken and success for all of our schools. Home winning streak. How many consecutive home wins for this team, and who is it? Now, you know this one. You've already said it.
Oh, Thompson?
Yeah. 29 home wins in a row for the Warriors. So, defending home turf.
Yeah.
Hard to go in there and win. Definitely. Consecutive winning seasons. They added one more this past year. They've been in this group for a while. Gordo with 29. 29 consecutive winning seasons.
I mean, that's just unheard of. Really.
But that's impressive, though,
Yeah.
because of the consistency of your program. Consecutive playoff seasons. This may be just as impressive, if not more. 39 for Laverne. Laverne's 30 consecutive seasons they've been to the playoffs. 39, excuse me. 39 consecutive seasons they've been to the playoffs. Consecutive weeks in a top 10 ranking.
Hoover seemed like that would have been it, but I don't know.
You got it.
It was Hoover.
243.
Shoo.
243 consecutive weeks in a top 10. Consecutive games scoring at least 2 points.
It seems like it could be like a Piedmont or somebody. But
Something like that.
who is it?
Close. 5.
5? Okay.
291 games they've scored at least 2 points.
Well, you're not shutting
Haven't
them
been shut out.
Yeah.
That's just but I mean, again, it's cool to go through and look at the updated streaks that's going on in the state as far as our high school is concerned. Some really, really, really good teams in this state.
Good? I mean, that just some of those numbers you were talking about. I mean, I know that there's good football everywhere, but it just seems like, I mean, Alabama really, I would say outside of Florida and Georgia.
Right.
That's it. And that's maybe something we can talk about later too. I saw a TikTok about this guy speaking about, who had better football, Georgia or Alabama, or Georgia or Florida. And his point was that Florida probably has the very best athletes, but they're usually probably underfunded, may not have the most experienced coaches, and whereas Georgia has a lot more money being funneled in and
Right.
top tier coaching.
And where does Alabama rank?
I think it can't be. I mean, I would compare us with Georgia, honestly.
Right.
I mean, I think in terms of how we compensate our coaches, the type of investments that come from facilities and all that. I mean, it's
True.
very similar to a college setting.
Yeah, no doubt. Serious. I mean, look at the top prospects and the volume of prospects we have per capita to what we pick to what other states have as far as numbers total. Our 4- and 5-star rankings are exceeding theirs in a lot of cases. So a lot of great talent in the state. Up against a break, again, we'll come back. We'll talk some more about high school football as we are 40 days out. Some of the teams around the state, preseason rankings have not come out yet. That'll be soon, but kind of where we think some of these teams will be heading into the fall season. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
When the Lake Martin area wants country, it turns to Kalijah Country 97.5. Lake Martin's best country.
Goes like one margarita, two margarita, three margarita shot. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. Now it's grandpa's never died.
Lake Martin's best country is on Kalijah Country 97.5.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back here on Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett and Scott here with you. Give us a call, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. You can comment away on Facebook. A lot of people still snoozing on a Saturday morning at 7:30. I get it, but a lot out and about too, driving around and up, maybe drinking their coffee, listening to us. Scott, we appreciate everybody that tunes us in. Hey, look, let's look at some of these classifications. Everything got reclassed, so there's going to be some teams that you thought, man, maybe you didn't pay attention to the reclassification, and you go, man, when did they jump up or when did they jump down? We'll start in 7A. I'm not going to highlight every region, but there's a couple of regions. I'm going to start Region 2. Auburn, Phoenix City, Dothan, Enterprise, Jeff Davis, Lee Montgomery, who was in 6A last year, along with Opelika, who was in 6A. They move up to this region, and Prattville and Smith Station. You talk about, I'll say that's the SEC East. Okay, and if you're saying, well, who is the SEC West, I'm about to tell you. But the SEC East, in comparison, I mean, you've got Auburn, Phoenix City, who have been right there battling to get to the state championship. Seems like the last couple of years, the winner of that game kind of has an inside track. you got Lee Montgomery, who was 8-3 last year in 6A, moving into this region, who's already shown they can compete at the highest level. Opelika, who was 9-4 in Region 2 of 6A, will move up to Region 2 of 7A. They were stellar. They're used to playing most of these teams anyway. I think they'll compete. You have Jeff Davis that was already there. Enterprise, a solid team at 8-4. Dothan was 4-6. Smith Station was 2-8. But that Smith Station team, if you looked at several scores, and I watched some of their results and who they played, and Scott, they were in most every game. They were a sneaky, weird, good team offensively in spurts. I mean, they would hit you, and they did that to us in our game. We jumped up big, and then they came back, took the lead, and they've got athletes over there. They've got athletes. So, with the right situation, maybe get them to where they can compete at the upper part of that region. But it's just hard because of week in and week out. Look at who you're playing.
And two, probably, they have great athletes, but if you're that close to Phoenix City or that close to Auburn, you may be going to one of the, you may position yourself to go there. So they're fighting to maintain their talent.
And they're one of the larger schools in the state, by the way. So you may be thinking, well, what's the problem? Well, geography, there's a lot of different things that play into that. All right, so if that were the SEC East, here's your SEC West in 7A. Chelsea, Hewitt, Trussville, Hoover, Oak Mountain, Spain Park, Thompson, Tuscaloosa County, and Vestavia Hills. Hewitt, Hoover, Oak Mountain, and Thompson right now, man, I'm telling you, just a very, very tough road to hoe. And then Chelsea, who was a 6A participant the last couple of years, moves up to Region 3-7. Now, look, you just call it like it is. That's a rough draw if you're Chelsea.
Yeah, 100%. And, just off the top, you're really probably fighting for fourth spot. Everybody, you name those first three teams, and then after that, I think you're fighting for fourth spot. Those top two for sure are going to be what they are, and then Oak Mountain's there, and then you're, like I'm saying, you're fighting for that. So if you're a team like Chelsea, it's going to be a lot of
that's just a tough draw,
it's tough.
Man. There ain't nothing else you can really say about it. It's you look down, and in these reclasses, if you're borderline and you move up, it really hurts. If you're borderline and you move down, that doesn't necessarily mean you run the gamut and you win a state title, but you're now the big fish in a smaller pond rather than the smallest fish in a bigger pond. So you're always looking to find an advantage if you want to be at the top. Now, again, there's just a few students here or there that separate that line most of the time.
How it would be, I just think about how difficult it would be to win in 6A had we not gone to 7 classifications. It would have still been the same thing we're seeing now, but some of your teams, like a Benjamin Russell, who was kind of on from a student enrollment standpoint toward the bottom, it'd be very difficult for that. So glad that took place, but even now on the 7A level, it's starting to be kind of very similar.
No, it is. Just not as many teams in 7A, and how do you decide who to move up? All right, so let's slide over to 6A a little bit, talk about some of these regions. We'll talk about Region 2 that has Carver, Park Crossing, Pike Road, who was the 5A champs, and move up to Region 2 in 6A. So that's a big jump for them, but they'll fit right in. Very talented team. Russell County, Sidney Lanier, Stanhope, Elmore, and Wetumpka. So you're seeing a couple of regions that got split. We were in the Stanhope-Wetumpka region. We will not play them any longer in this current reclassification. Could pick them back up down the line. But Pike Road slides up. That's a big deal. They're out of 5A. They're in 6A. Going to be right there competing again. Again, this shows you not necessarily because you move up to a bigger classification means you're out of it. This Pike Road team's probably going to be favored with a shot to compete at the top level of 6A, and not necessarily because you move down to a lower classification means you got a clear path to win it. You still got to have the players and the coaches and all that. But just kind of your thoughts on that region down there in the Montgomery area.
I mean, that's a pretty stout region as well. And as you see, Benjamin Russell.
We were
could have
teetering.
very easily,
This was going to be
yeah.
the other region. If we didn't get in the region we were in, this is where we were going to be placed.
Which I would have, for travel purposes, this would have been, a lot better, I think, probably. But we play a lot of the Birmingham teams that we saw early on in the 2000s.
Right.
So should be fun.
Well, speaking of that region, Region 3, and again, Benjamin Russell, Briarwood, Callear, Chilton County, Helena, Homewood, and Pelham. All right, so common opponents that stayed out of that other region really only lost Stanhope and Wetumpka. Pelham, Helena, Chilton County, Callear stay in. We stay in. We just add Briarwood and Homewood to this mix. It's a pretty good region up and down the line. There's some strong teams in there, maybe not some so strong teams. Helena was a team that a lot of people felt like might jump to 7A with their size. They missed it by just a few students and were able to stay in 6A. So a huge school that continues to grow. It's going to be 2 more years in 6A. I don't think they'll miss it next time. I think they'll definitely be a 7A program in a couple of years when they do the next reclassification. So you got some really strong teams. Briarwood's got Chris Fazina at quarterback, who's the best quarterback in the state of Alabama, who's already committed to Clemson. Just talked about another young man that we'll talk about here in a little bit that just committed from Thompson to go up to Clemson. So going to be some good matchups. I'm looking forward to a rejuvenation of some of these teams that we played in the early 2000s.
Yeah, those Homewood Briarwood matchups were so much fun. I know when we were in high school and you had a couple of I guess this would have been Michael Goggins. So this would have been senior year, and they had McCain, and so it was a big deal to have that going on. But Benjamin Russell and Homewood is the one, though. That's the one that everybody wants to see, and they're not, to me, the same way I look at Opelika, but very similar, very similar.
Another region that was a potential for Benjamin Russell when it was being kicked around was Region 5 with Gardendale, Jackson, Olin, Minor, Mortimer, Jordan, Mountain Brook, Parker, and Woodlawn. So there was a little bit of a talk. That was the one on the outside that was a possibility. But Mountain Brook, again, a very good football team that went 12-2 last year and fell a little bit short there in the semifinal game to that Clay Chaltville team that ended up winning it all. They add Parker from 5A into their region, who was 11-2 in 5A. I think they'll compete very well in that region. Some really good teams there. Scott, if you look at Gardendale at 10-3, Jackson Olin 9-3, Mountain Brook, Parker, some really good teams. Woodlawn was 1-9. They struggled a little bit, but pretty solid region there in Region 5. And then the last one we'll talk about in 6A is Region 6, and it's got Clay Chaltville in it, Huffman, who was 2-8, Oxford, who was down a little bit last year at 7-5, but very young. Talked to several of their coaches. They've got high expectations this year. Pell City, Pinson Valley finished 9-4. Shades Valley in there as well, and they add Center Point from 5A that jumps into that region. Pretty solid region there. So 6A, to me, top to bottom, is the toughest classification in the entire state.
I agree. And
For the volume of teams that really have a chance to really, if they got on a roll, could make a run.
I mean, 7 games. If you go 7-3 in some of these regions, you've done something.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's some highly competitive.
You see 6-4 teams go 3-4 rounds deep in the playoffs because of their competition.
Especially if you're coming from like a Mobile or Birmingham, where you're getting knocked around. We saw it with BC Rain a few years ago. They make a run to the quarters of the semis, and I think they were 4-6, 3-7. So it was a way for them to.
Well, speaking of that, I do want to mention the Mobile region real quick. Baldwin County area. Baldwin County, Blunt, McGill-Tulin, Murphy, who was a 7A team that dropped down to 6A. Robertsdale, Saraland, Spanish Fort, St. Paul's moves up from 5A to 6A. and Theodore, who was 10
They're
and
all
2.
in the same.
This is all the same region.
That's stout too, right there.
Well, I mean, Theodore was 10 and 2 in 7A last year. They just moved into 6A.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
So I mean, it's brutal down there. I mean, we know. Unfortunately for us and Dayville and basically Clay Central, anybody that ever has to get on a bus and drive south, it doesn't end up working out too well for us when we go down there. It's just hard to go win down there. Just very good football all the way around. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
Our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Castelluccio Fine Italian Dining in downtown Alexander City is rapidly becoming the region standard for Italian cuisine, as well as hand-cut filet mignon, fresh Gulf seafood, and the area's best Italian import wine selection. We offer true old-world charm with unmatched hospitality. Like Castelluccio Fine Dining on Facebook to keep up with daily lunch and dinner specials. Also new, we offer catering for your family and small business, so call and order. Castelluccio, downtown Alexander City, where the only thing that rivals the flavor is the dining experience.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Back here on the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air, just kind of going through the reclassification, getting you set for high school football in 40 days, Scott, 40 days. We kick off, man, it is going to be hot on August 19th.
Yeah. Whew.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be scorching.
I think it's the 19th.
No, that's it, August 19th.
August 19th. We'll talk about some schedule a little bit. Won't go through every single one of these, but I want to go down to 5A now and talk about some of these regions. Again, 5A football is a lot of fun. We'll start with Region 4. Beauregard, Central Clay County, Elmore County, Sylacauga, Tallahassee, and Valley. Valley moves down from 6A to 5A. But you look at that region, I did not – I guess I forgot that Elmore County went 0-10 last year. That's not very uncanny for them to do that.
New coach there, though. should be.
Yeah, I mean,
that'll be a lot of fun for him.
All right, Central Clay 9-3, top of that region. Sylacauga ended up going 7-4 on the season. Tallahassee 7-3. And just share your thoughts on that. Beauregard 4-6. Can Beauregard kind of get some things turned around down there? Clay Central will still be at the top of the heat with Sylacauga there pushing.
Yeah, I think Sylacauga is the team that could.
They did lose Pope though.
That's true. That's true.
Tough loss there. I mean, he phenomenal running back, maybe one of the better ones we saw all year.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at Region 2 that's got Carroll, Charles Henderson, Eufaula moves back down from 6A to 5A. You see them do that a lot. Greenville, Headland, and Rehoboth. Greenville has Patrick Browning as their head coach now that left Pike Road. Just won a state championship, goes over to Greenville. So that one will be interesting to kind of see how that one plays out. We'll slide down to 4A and talk about a few of these regions, a lot of regions here. As far as Region 4, Anniston, Cleveland County, Handley, Jacksonville, Munford, Talladega, and White Plains, as far as some schools that are close to us in this area. The region with Cherokee County, Etowah, Huntsville, Aniana, Region 6, a pretty strong region. Aniana went 13-2 last year. Got beat in the state championship game by Viger. We remember that one. You always look at Region 1, which is at Mobile, Baldwin County. You got Bayside Academy, who moves up from 3A to 4A. You got Orange Beach, who moves up from 2A to 4A. They were 9-2 last year. Satsuma, T.R. Miller, Wilcox Central, and Jackson, who was 11-3 in that region. So some pretty stout competition right there. We'll slide down to 3A, hit a couple of these regions here. The Dayville Tigers in Region 4, Beulah, Childersburg, Dayville, Randolph County, Sacs, Walter, Welborn, and Weaver. It's a new layout for them. Some foes that they're used to playing, but some new teams, some Sacs, Walter, Welborn, Weaver. Sets up kind of good for Dayville. If you look at the records of the teams they had to play, Sacs was 12-2, by far the best team in that region. Everybody else had a barely 500 record or a losing record.
There's a chance there for sure.
On down in Region 3, you got Alabama Christian, who was decent last year. St. James, it was 10-2. Trinity, 9-3. Southside Selma ended up being 9-2. Prattville Christian, Greensboro, a decent region there as well. So you got some good competition down in 3A. We'll slide down to 2A real quick and hit some of these. Lafayette, Lynette, Reeltown, Laverne, Horseshoe Bend, Highland Home, Goshen, and Barber County. That region there, again, Lynette being the shining star with Laverne right behind them. So can Reeltown, that was in 3A last year, that moves down to 2A, what does that mean for them? Goshen was a 3A team that moves down to 2A. You had Horseshoe Bend at 3-7 last year. They're having some expectations of maybe being a little better this year. So that'll be an interesting region to watch.
Yeah, and again, it's tough when, say, you're a school like Horseshoe Bend, where you have the region so top heavy that it makes it difficult. But if you can win a couple here and there, region games anyway, you could be fighting for that fourth playoff spot. And they had a chance at one point last year if things had panned out correctly. They could have made it a playoff run. So they're not far off. You're dealing with depth issues and all of those things, but they're not far off.
All right, and the last region we'll cover here before we go to break, Region 4 and 2A has B.B. Comer, who was unbelievable last year, 10-3. Central Coosa, Fayetteville, Isabella, Ranburn, Thorsby, Vincent, and Woodland moves up from 1A, Region 5 to 2A. So, Central Coosa, 2-7 last year. You look at the teams in this region, there was a lot of 6-5s, 6 and 5s, 6 and 4s. Some possibilities there for that program. But B.B. Comer looks to be extremely strong again. Again, good coaching. Got a lot of good athletes up there right now. I mean, you look at Sylacauga and B.B. Comer in the proximity they are, really with stone's throw from those two schools being as successful as they are, sharing the same stadium. Just two really good programs right now.
It is, and I think that's going to continue. But B.B. Comer really had a really great season last year, really great season.
So we're 40 days out, everybody, from high school football, and everybody's getting ready. I know the heat's rough out there, but, I mean, you're looking at just around the corner, and we'll be kicking things off, and a lot to do between now and then. I just wanted to run down this morning some of these reclassifications, some of these regions for our local teams, kind of where people kind of fall, and as we move toward the start of the season over the next few weeks, we'll start running down some schedules and getting you set for the high school season. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food, so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sales. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Can't say enough about those two great sponsors and been part of our program forever. JR Sports Bar and Grill, great food. Scott been serving us for a long time and been taking care of all these communities around here in Central Alabama with athletics and no matter what it is, they give back tremendously. Sunshine Heating and Air in Davil, Alabama. Kevin Kill and his group do a tremendous job. Boy, they're getting worked over right now.
I know it.
They are the most popular people in the world, especially when somebody's air goes out. They are much needed. So quality service, great products like the Daikin units. So make sure you call on Kevin Kill and his group. They do a wonderful job there. Scott, I know we're about to head into hour number 2 here, just a short segment. I'm sure Luke will join us at the top of the hour like he does every Saturday, and we'll dive into some college. Kind of start with Auburn. We'll flip over and talk about Alabama when Luke joins in. I know they talked about this on the Auburn Blitz yesterday with the Inside the Auburn Tigers. That's Jason, that's Mark Murphy, all those guys. Kind of broke down from top to bottom the confidence in win, from opponents, looking at the easiest opponent all the way down the hardest, and we'll talk about these. Mercer being the 12th on the list, the easiest opponent. San Jose State right under them. Western Kentucky comes in at 10, and then Missouri is the 4th easiest opponent on the schedule. They come into Jordan-Hare for the first time ever since they've been in the conference. So that should be an interesting football game.
Yeah, and that's one that I'm glad that we get to host them. They were a lot of fun when we went over to Atlanta in 2013 and had a chance to play them. They were really good.
It was a lot of fun. We beat their brains. Yeah. That's exactly. I tell you why it was a lot of fun. Look, I've been over there and we even had that fortune, and with some other teams we played. It's always fun when you come out a win.
I agree.
So, but that's why we enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it was a good game.
Missouri
very good. Had a lot of points scored in that.
Was that their first? Did they make it their first year in the conference?
To the championship?
Mm-hmm. When did the merger happen? Or
I think they've been in the conference 10 years now.
Okay, so 12.
Yeah,
okay.
12, 11, something like that, maybe. It wasn't the first year. But then they went back-to-back years, and then they got their brains beat out by Alabama the next year.
That's what it was. They went back.
Hey, they made it. Texas A&M ain't made it yet. So Missouri comes in for the first time. That'll be fun. LSU, the 5th easiest on the schedule. Now Auburn's got the hardest schedule in the country. Again, congratulations, you get that award. Mississippi State. What about that LSU team? Do you feel like that's right? They got them.
It's just
a little bit easier than Mississippi State.
I just don't.
Now a lot of this plays into where you're playing teams.
Yeah.
Too,
now
okay?
we host LSU, so that
right
makes it a little bit easier. But you start looking at some of these as we get ready to go down. Some of these other games, start seeing some ats, and it changes a little bit there.
At Mississippi State. Yeah. So I mean, that's a note there. Those first 5 from Mercer to LSU, all home games. So your first road game is at Mississippi State. Comes in at number 7 on the list.
I mean, I'm not overly concerned. Although Mississippi State was the team that kind of started the derailing of the season last year, so who knows there.
Maybe man up a little bit and get some payback.
Yeah.
Arkansas comes in at 6 on the list, so the halfway point. Penn State, number 5. That game's early in the season, man.
I mean, that's the one everybody has circled. You'll start out. I guess there's 2 games. They're the third game of the season. Yeah, right. So you'll start out 2-0, and then you hope. But if you can get a win there, maybe you get.
Don't pull a Georgia State.
Seriously.
Throw in the end zone on 4th down. Yeah. Ole Miss at 4. Got to go to Ole Miss. Texas A&M. With all their expectations, is 3, and then, of course, tied at 1 in Georgia and Alabama. Got to go do both of those places. So,
what do you think about A&M?
I think it could go either way this year for them. I really think the X factor for A&M is going to be how well Jimbo Fisher coaches. He doesn't have a Jameis Winston to take a team and lead them. He's got a boatload of talent, but he's got to be a better coach maybe than he's ever been to get out of them what the expectations. If not, they're going to be what they are every year, and that's 8-4.
Which
save the 2020 COVID season.
I mean, at some point, similar to Auburn, like, when can – not that Auburn hadn't been over the hump, but if you're A&M, at some point,
They haven't been over the hump. Since they've been in the conference. Like I said, Missouri's been twice on their side. South Carolina's been to an SEC championship since they got in the conference. Arkansas's been a couple of times. What are you doing, A&M, with all your money and all the stuff that you brought in? You had a Heisman winner since then that couldn't get you there. They have not performed up to, I don't think, the standards that people thought they were going to bring in. But this is this big recruit. I mean, I know next year's really the year people are expecting, but they've got a lot of expectations around this team this year to try to take the next step.
If it doesn't happen soon, not that I'm overly concerned about Texas, but what will happen?
Well, now they've got them coming right back in.
That's what I'm saying. So now if you're them, it's like, all right, we got to do it quickly.
Right.
We got to do it quickly.
Up against another break. Top of the hour coming up. Hour number 2 right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
At Glenn Smith in Opelika, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. Check out these hot July offers on powerful full-size Chevy and GMC trucks. The Chevy Silverado discounted up to $6,500 off, or the GMC Sierra $5,000 off. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on several models. New inventory is arriving daily.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air, hour number 2 coming at you. And if you'd like to make a comment, you got a call, you'd like to call us and give us a little bit of info on something that you want to talk about, by all means, please do that. We'd love to hear from you. again, going back to the schedule for Auburn, we'll jump into some Alabama talk here in a little bit, hopefully get Luke to join us a little bit later. But this schedule sets up, again, if you look at some of the teams Auburn's got early, you better make hay. You know, that's what a lot of people talk about when they look at this schedule, because the back end of the schedule is a lot tougher. But can this team get better as the year goes along? All right, so I was on Gary's show yesterday, Scott, and he wanted to talk about the quarterback situation. So let's look at the quarterback situation for Auburn. Zach Calzada, T.J. Finley, and Robbie Ashford. Holden Gardner's out there, but he's a true freshman. Lord help. If he's getting substantial playing time, it's worse than we all thought. All right, T.J. Finley, he ain't a real option, is he? Let's be real. We don't need any PC stuff on here.
I like T.J. Finley, but I don't think
I like him as a person.
I
like him as a leader. I don't think he has the talent to get us to where we need to be. But okay,
I'll go. I mean, but no, but I'm saying I think that's it. We've seen it. I think he gets a lot of praise for how he was able to battle during the Iron Bowl and basically been on one leg and continue to play. I think he was endeared to Auburn fans. Saying that, I don't think that he's the guy.
And then all of it was lost when he played.
It was, yeah. I mean, I've blocked that out of my mind. I don't even think about the
I mean,
Houston
if he
game.
could have done anything in that game.
But I like.
Is it Robbie Ashford and Zach Calzada?
I like Robbie Ashford.
Hasn't gotten a start. I really think the reality of this quarterback battle is going to be Zach Calzada, and I think Auburn needs Zach Calzada right now to be the guy. I'm not saying that, to me, overall, from an athletic standpoint, Robbie Ashford brings more to the table. From a can do it all. Got a strong arm, got good accuracy, can run around, is mobile. But Calzada did start last year for Texas A&M, and he played in some really big games, and he won some really big games. Now, he didn't look good in some games as well. But for the most part, he's got that leadership. Maybe he can come in and be the spark that this team needs at quarterback, a consistent spark.
Yeah, I mean, you would at least have somebody with SEC experience, somebody who's been battle-tested, somebody who – which was the only thing I would – not the only thing, but the thing that kind of had in my mind about T.J. Finley was at least he's – you know, if it came down to it, you've got somebody with some experience.
I mean, I think we all hoped that him coming from LSU was going to be that.
Yeah, and I think that, again, is a long line of players who had at least at the quarterback position with a pretty strong pedigree and hadn't necessarily panned out with Auburn. But I think that probably gives you the best chance if you're starting the season tomorrow. That probably gives you your best chance to get going. And if you depending on what happens with Penn State, if you're 3-0, then you let it right out. That's probably your most stable option to go along with what we hope will be.
I feel good about. I'll say this: Zach Calzada, Robbie Ashford. I feel good about those two guys. I mean, I really do.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a bad spot if either one of those guys are starting. No,
Holden Gardner. I mean, the guy is not chopped liver. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Highly touted coming out of high school, 4-star. Just don't want to throw a true freshman in the mix if you don't have to.
I mean, we're talking about the quarterback position, but I think what's going to make or break the success that we have offensively, which everybody says this, but for Auburn specifically, we're going to have to be able to run the ball a lot better than we did last year. You can't average 3.5 yards a carry and expect
not with
to be
Tank Bigby.
Not with him back there. So if the offensive line is able to improve the way that we think that they should, just based on the guys coming back and the amount of starts, if there's anything that could help propel that to, a 4.5, 5 yard.
Get Jarquez Hunter back healthy. He was stellar until he got hurt. So I did talk to Gary yesterday on his show about the strength. He asked me what I thought the strength of this team is, and I know everybody may think I'm crazy. And I might be a little bit crazy anyway, but the offensive line's got a chance to be the strength of this team because of all the senior leadership up front and the starts. I mean, look, these guys were ranked highly coming out of high school. They've just battled injury. They've battled inconsistency of having to move people around. Can they get into a position, stay in that position, and get some chemistry, Scott? I mean, they've got outside of right guard, everybody on the two deep is a senior or super senior.
Yeah, I mean
seriously.
On the surface, that should be the answer. I think that could be.
If it's not the answer, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. My concern. I think.
Well,
that's going
to determine if you can run the ball. Those guys.
Yeah. So if I don't know, I don't think that we're just overly talented at the wide receiver position. So I think it's going to be a lot of.
But your wide receiver position can be a lot better if you're running the ball, and you can own the line of scrimmage by what you have up front. Even when teams stack the box, if you're running the ball, that's going to help your wide receivers.
Yeah.
And you got a slew of tight ends.
Yeah, that's okay. That's where I was going to get you. I think that this could be, we've been asking for it for a decade, basically, since
throw it into the tight end.
2010, 11, but utilize them. We've seen what George was able to do when you have somebody like that, and it creates matchup problems. But to your point, the offensive line. I don't know if it is the strength of the team, but it could be.
No,
and if it could be. So if that is the case, then that 8.
It's been the weakness.
Yeah,
it could be the strength.
That changes a lot of things. If Auburn really is able to get back to running the ball the way that we're accustomed to, and creating some of these one-on-one matchups on the outside, I think you could see a better offense. Defensively, I thought they weren't that bad. They gave up 21 points a game.
Got a chance to be as good or better on defense this year. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Okay, somebody's not wearing their seatbelt.
I don't wear seat belts. Might wrinkle my shirt.
That's okay. I'm sure they can iron it before the funeral.
What funeral?
Yours. Almost 70% of people who die in car crashes aren't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay. There. You happy?
Just happy to be alive.
Seatbelts. It's hard to live without them. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
At Glenn Smith and Opelika, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. Check out these Hot July offers on powerful full-size Chevy and GMC trucks. The Chevy Silverado discounted up to $6,500 off. Or the GMC Sierra $5,000 off. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on several models. New inventory is arriving daily.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Let's go to the phone line and welcome in. I can't get it out. one of our co-hosts who drives all over the country, and our roving reporter, Luke Robinson. Luke, thanks for joining us this morning, buddy.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
It's good, man. Going to be a little rainy outside, and I know you're about to get back on the road and drive north, so be safe out there. But I do want to jump in to talk a little bit about Alabama and where they are right now. We'll start with the recruiting, a big name that was on the board that a lot of people felt like was a lock, and he even said that in his quote this week when he talked about his commitment. Where he chose is Peter Woods at Thompson. Decides on his trip, his official visit to Clemson, to commit to the Clemson Tigers. And I know you've shared with our audience and everybody on several occasions that you didn't think it was a done deal for Alabama, that there was some religious ties and the feeling that his dad had with the situation at Clemson. And I kind of feel like that Alabama's still very much in the game after reading what he said, Luke. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and December. So I know Alabama will continue to recruit him heavily, but I'll just kick it to you and give us your thoughts on the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up an Alabama fan, big-time Alabama fan, and everybody considered him a lock, and I think sometimes that works against you. I mean, Auburn certainly dealt with that in the past where everybody just takes you for granted, and, you know, you may feel like, hey, I want to go somewhere where I feel a little wanted. I mean, it's almost like a 7-year itch kind of thing, and I think he went to Clemson. I think he had a good time. Dabo Swinney does a good job recruiting state of Alabama. He's already got a 5-star in Christopher Vizina from Briarwood committed. He's done a great job at Central Phoenix City in the past, getting a couple of great wide receivers. And he just had a good selling point. I mean, there's a religious tie in there. And, you know, I don't know necessarily. A lot of people believe that he will have ultimately flipped Alabama, and I don't know that that's the case. I'll tell you something. His show yesterday, and I don't know another way to put it. I mean, his just exhibition of, I've never seen a commitment ceremony like that before. He had merchandise out there. He had a gazillion balloons. He had people everywhere. It actually had commercials. It was a very surreal moment and very probably indicative of where everything is going in terms of, you know, everybody's selling everything now. So I think that may have rubbed some people the wrong way too. Now, again, you can get unrubbed the wrong way when it comes to a 5-star defensive tackle. But I think that one thing that Peter Woods loves is the Clemson philosophy and style that they would use for him, which is more of an edge rusher, versus Alabama, who would probably use it more on the interior. And Alabama, as you know, they love a Will Anderson, a long, lean, quick twitch guy, or Dallas Turner, Tim Williams. Whereas Peter Woods is just a bigger dude, but he feels like he's sort of an edge guy. And I think that he believes right now he's a better fit at Clemson. I believe this is genuine. I don't think this is just him trying to up the ante with Alabama or anything like that. I think Clemson did a fantastic job. There's no sour grapes on my end. Look, I mean, the kid's got to do what the kid's got to do. And if he feels like Clemson's the best spot for him, so be it. I mean, it's a great program. It's not like he committed to Oregon State. I mean, he committed to a fantastic program that's been to several college football playoffs and won a couple of national championships. And I do not think it is just a given that he will flip to Alabama. I do think there's an opportunity for it. I mean, Nick Saban's probably going to take this on as a personal pet project of, hey, I'm going to get this guy back. Another thing to note is a lot of people are going to throw Freddie Roach under the bus here, and I don't think this is Freddie Roach's miss. Sometimes you're fighting an uphill battle. I mean, I think that the religious tie-in, the scheme, all of this came into effect, and the fact that Peter Woods, the fact that he was an Alabama fan all his life, may have actually worked against Alabama this time. It's not like Christopher Vizina, who was also a big-time Alabama fan, big-time Alabama family. Alabama didn't go after him. Alabama, in fact, is probably going to get a commitment from another quarterback named Dylan Lonergan from Georgia on July 11th, which will be, I guess, Monday? So Alabama will have 2 quarterback commitments from the number, 2 top 10 quarterbacks in the country. And meanwhile, there's a top 10 quarterback in the country right there at Briarwood that Alabama just didn't pursue. For whatever reason, they weren't as enamored with him as Clemson was. And this wasn't that situation. Alabama went after Peter Woods hard, and they just didn't get him.
Luke, something that during Woods' comments about, his decision to go to Clemson, he mentioned, that he thought that Dabo had a better understanding and could relate to kids. I think he made a reference to maybe, he's a mastermind of 18 or 18 to 24-year-olds. And I thought that was a little bit surprising because I think that even though the age difference, I think that Nick Saban has been somebody who has demonstrated over the years how relatable he is to kids, and that's what makes people want to go to Alabama outside of, the winning aspect. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, again, some of this is Peter Woods probably being a little bit jaded that everybody just assumed he was going to Alabama. I think that's kind of a silly comment, quite frankly. Look, Dabo actually may relate to 18-year-olds more, but I think that's because Dabo may be a little less mature than Nick Saban, both literally and figuratively. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that Dabo is he's going to do a bunch of silly stuff. He's going to get his hands dirty, quote unquote, and sort of play the game with these kids. And Nick Saban's more like, hey, what I want to do is get you ready for the next level. I want you to come here. I want you to be successful, get your education. Then I want you to be ready to go to the NFL. That's Nick Saban's selling point. He's not going to sit there. Yeah, he's going to do famously the electric slide a couple of times a year, but he's not going to do stuff like, put on weird helmets or sing songs or do funky stuff like Dabo Swinney. And that's not to say Dabo Swinney's tactics are wrong. I think they work. I mean, Clemson's been very successful. But I think that not everybody's cut out for Alabama, and that's just the way it is. It's the best dynasty that college football's ever seen, right in the middle of it, and not everybody is suited for it. And so if Peter Woods feels like he relates better to Dabo Swinney, I think that is great for Peter Woods. I want him to do what he wants to do. At the same time, maybe it says, hey, he's just not, cut for this. I hope that's not the case. I hope eventually he comes around. I would love to have Peter Woods a part of this class. But the thing about Alabama and recruiting right now is, look, they may not find a guy, unless they get James Smith, which I think they will, but they may not find another guy quite as good as Peter Woods because he's awesome. But they'll find a guy that's really, really good, and they'll go get him. Alabama, it's not like it's Peter Woods or bust. I mean, Alabama's got a bunch of other options. But, look, again, no sour grapes on my end. I want Peter Woods to go where he wants to go. I want him to be successful, and I'm glad that these kids from the state of Alabama, particularly this year, are kicking so much butt. I mean, they're guys, committing to Kentucky and committing to Penn State and committing to Arkansas and committing to Georgia and Florida and Clemson. Boy, what a year in the state.
Luke, next up for Alabama as far as recruiting, who are some of the next pieces to fall for this class?
Well, like I mentioned, I think Dylan Lonergan is one that certainly could be on the verge. I think that will happen on July 11th. And the interesting thing about Dylan Lonergan, yes, Alabama already has a commitment from Eli Holstein, but he's sort of a baseball guy too. So I think this is sort of a dual action kind of thing where he can play baseball. I don't know he's necessarily which sport he's actually better in, but he's good at both of them. And Alabama would certainly welcome him on the baseball team, no doubt. And I think that's what's great about getting two quarterbacks, one of them being a baseball guy, is you don't necessarily count on him to be the savior. Then there's Edric Hill, who is a defensive lineman out of Kansas City, and he's really, really good. I mean, I like him a lot. He's a four-star guy, top 300 guy that I think is very, very good, maybe even a little bit underrated. Alabama, just got a commitment for some other guys like Tony Mitchell, Cole Adams. But July could be a very big month. It's going to be interesting to see about where some of these other in-state guys go because, one thing, and as I'm pulling up the in-state rankings for this year, there's not many uncommitted in-state guys anymore.
No, you got Russaw and James Smith left in the top 10 along with Kelby Collins. That's it.
And Quay Russell.
Yeah,
And I think Alabama gets Quay Russell, Kelby Collins, and James Smith. And look, if you get those three guys,
Yeah, I mentioned Russaw. I said Russaw and Smith, and then of course Kelby Collins are the three left in the top 10 that are uncommitted.
and I think if you get those three guys, and then maybe you circle back to somebody like a Hunter Osborne, who, he may end up at Clemson too, or Texas. Texas went to Hewitt-Trussville and got a kid last year. He's number 12 player in the state. I don't know that they will, but I'm looking at the top 20 guys. The only ones uncommitted are Camelo Overton from Ozark, Stanton Rammel from Thompson, an offensive lineman, Hunter Osborne, who I just mentioned, and then the three guys we talked about, Russell, Smith, and Collins. So everybody else is committed. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable considering how good this year is. It just shows you everybody wants to commit early. But I think that, again, Alabama's going to have a really, really nice year with or without Peter Woods. It's a shame they didn't get him. But one other guy to look out for, I think, is Cormani McLean out of Florida. This is the number 3 player in the country. He's a cornerback. Alabama is really after him. Everybody assumed he was going to Florida, but I feel like right now Alabama's got the upper hand. And then Caleb Downs, a safety out of Georgia, who's in the top 10 players in the country too. Just a fantastic player. Even though Alabama got Tony Mitchell, I think that they'll gladly take Downs along with Mitchell, because Mitchell can play cornerback as well.
I want to go back and say one thing about Alabama's decision to take Eli Holstein and maybe not Chris Vizina. Vizina ranked a 5-star, and Holstein right outside of being a 5-star is a 4-star on 24/7. Just maybe what those two quarterbacks, as far as what they bring to the table, is that what you think Alabama decided to do? I mean, in deciding to go with Holstein, I know that Alabama was mentioned in the Arch Manning sweepstakes and all that. They didn't get him. Do you feel like Alabama got the quarterback for them?
Look, I just, again, you know how I am. I mean, I want the in-state guys, right? I personally would always defer to an in-state guy versus an out-of-state guy. The difference in rankings, Holstein's number 56, and Vizina's number 34. So, I mean, there's not like a hill of beans difference between them, really, when it comes to the rankings. Now, Holstein is bigger. He went to the Elite 11, and he was okay. He wasn't great in terms of mechanics, in terms of accuracy, but they give all these various awards, and it's sort of like everybody gets an award thing, but his award was best college size, or best size going into college, where you look at a Nico Iamaleava who's going to Tennessee. I mean, he is a rail, even though he's talented as all get out. He's got a lot of work to do. He's sort of a Chet Holmgren-looking guy. But Eli Holstein is 6'4", probably about 230. I mean, he's a dude. And the things you can coach are mechanics and getting the ball out quickly, all that type stuff, versus you can't coach somebody to be 6'4", 230. Now, Chris Vizina is also kind of a big dude, but he's more closer to 200. I think he's around 6'3", 205, something like that. So, I mean, again, the size isn't a huge difference, but when you talk about adding 25 pounds to a quarterback, I mean, if you look at Eli Holstein, he's built like a linebacker. And then there's Dylan Lonergan, who I think Alabama will get Monday, also a big guy, again, maybe a little more accurate than Holstein. But, the thing about Holstein that I think you can't coach too is he has won state championships in Louisiana. He actually plays in a larger classification than Arch Manning. So, I mean, frankly, look, Arch is an all-timer in terms of being recruited. I mean, he's got so much going for him, including the name. But I know this Alabama staff felt Eli Holstein was in the same light as Arch Manning. They may not have thought he was the exact same player, but they thought of him in the same realm. And then again, Dylan Lonergan, again, you look at Alabama's quarterback room, right? I mean, Bryce Young's going to be gone after this year. He's going pro. He could be the number 1 pick. Then you've got Jalen Milroe, who a lot of people think will be the starter next year, and then he will probably move on. He's a big dude. He's really coming along. You got Ty Simpson there already too, and now you got. But what if Ty Simpson were to transfer because he doesn't want to sit behind Jalen Milroe? Then you've got to have some more quarterbacks. You could be left with 1 quarterback on the roster, technically. So you've got to get 2 quarterbacks in this class, and that's what I think Alabama's going to do.
Well, Luke, we appreciate it, brother. Good breakdown of where Alabama stands right now as far as their recruiting in football. I know a lot of dominoes left to fall. Be interesting over the next month and a half, because I know more kids are scheduling to make their decision. And as you said, it's getting slim pickings in the state of Alabama, because majority of these kids have already made a decision to at least commit somewhere. And that doesn't mean that they stick with that commitment, but they do pledge somewhere. Only a few opportunities left to give pledges. So, but Luke, appreciate it, buddy. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks so much. Luke Robinson there, and a breakdown of where Alabama stands right now as far as their recruiting is concerned. When we come back, we'll talk about Auburn. Two big recruits for Auburn this past week. They get a commitment from two in-state guys. Step in the right direction for Brian Harsin. And right now, if you look, 4 or 5 commitments, they're all 4 stars. Hey, you're getting quality players. Still a lot of work to do for this Auburn team, but you see what they're competing with, and you see what. And I'll talk about some more of these kids that Auburn has a chance to be in on. I mean, can they actually land a few of these? Again, this is the most, I guess, talented class, top to bottom, we've seen in the state of Alabama probably since we've all been doing this, Scott. And this is not just an Alabama and an Auburn pool. I mean, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Georgia, you name it's coming in and grabbing these kids. Penn State's grabbed a couple, running out of real estate, man, and who you can offer. So up against the break, stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Now is the best time to sell your current home, as it's a seller's market, meaning that on average you can get up to 96% of your asking price. Who's the most aggressive and most experienced to help you sell your home?
Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. We are getting a 96% return on our listing price to sales price in this area. Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
LNG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
GillsOpelika.info. Get pre-approved in minutes online at GillsOpelika.info for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Gills Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone. Very short segment here. We got to catch up on another break. We went long on our segment with Luke, but real quick, Scott, as we mentioned, James Smith at 1, still undecided. Quay Russaw at 6, both at Carver, Montgomery. He's undecided. And Kelby Collins, number 8 player in the state at Gardendale, 6'5", 280, is still undecided. And then you come down to Hunter Osborne at Hewitt-Trussville, the number 12 player. He's undecided. Then you go down to number 20 at Carmela Overton, undecided from Carroll of Ozark. That's it. Everybody else has already made a pledge. As far as that's concerned, you look at Auburn real quick. We'll come back on the other side of this. Four commitments, 4 4-stars. Carmelo English, Jeremiah Cobb over the last week and a half have committed to play for Auburn. 2 really big gets here in the state of Alabama. Jeremiah Cobb from Montgomery Catholic, really, really talented running back. Carmelo English, extremely talented wide receiver from Central Phoenix City to join Terrence Love from Fairburn, Georgia, and Braden Joyner, also an in-state commitment there from Auburn High School as a 4-star, 6'1", 330 pounds. Still a couple of guys, 2 or 3 left in the mix there for Auburn in the top 20. Really need to land a few of those to kind of cement themselves in getting five or so of those top 20 guys here in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and I think that for a class of this caliber, it was imperative that Auburn got some of these guys, not just obviously to get them on the team, but to show the momentum and
no doubt
that we were capable of doing that. So I think that getting some of these guys in, and Cobb I think was big just because you had to get him, and not that I don't think he was going anywhere else, but you had to get him. And so similar to Alabama, where of the 20, they get 8. I mean, that's almost 50% of them are Alabama people. So of that caliber, and then you look at Auburn, if they're able to get 4 to 5, then that's not a bad haul, all things considered.
No, I mean not out of this
coming where you started in the offseason,
right?
Sure.
And then who you're competing with that's coming in picking guys: Penn State, Clemson, Georgia, Texas A&M. I mean, you got all these guys, all these teams coming in. So up against another break, we'll come back. We'll break some of these guys down. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker,
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elliott City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
For almost 10 years, there's been the go-to place for tires and automotive repair, Right Tire. Right Tire sells all makes of tires for anyone's vehicle and anyone's budget. And with Right Tire, you always get the right prompt service with the right price. Right Tire also can handle all of your bumper-to-bumper automotive needs with certified brake service, alignment, oil changes, tune-ups, and so much more. So when you want tires and automotive done right, see Right Tire on West Fort Williams in the heart of Sylacauga. Right work, right price, every time.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Become a member of the Superior family. Superior GMC Cadillac, Superior Hyundai, or Superior Automotive Pre-Owned. Between our 3 dealers in East Central Alabama, we offer the superior selection and service for any buyer's needs. All with the personal touch of being locally family-owned and operated. Check out any of our dealers online, or our 3 great lots in Anniston on Quintard, or our pre-owned superstore in Pell City, and join the Superior family of value.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Split Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Just a couple segments left in today's show, talking about the recruiting that's going on with Auburn and Alabama. Hey, look, 4 commitments for Brian Harsin, 4 4-stars. Got to keep the momentum going. Picked up 2 here in the last week and a half, both from in the state of Alabama. You stand, if you're Auburn, to get another kid here in the state from Thompson High School, which is probably a shock to a lot of people. Big offensive lineman, Stanton Rammel, 6'7", 310 pounds. Big time kid if Auburn can land him. You know, he's got offers from Penn State, Tennessee, Arkansas, North Carolina, Michigan State. And look, Alabama kind of already filled their offensive line and kind of got an idea of what they want, maybe not going after Stanton Rammel could be a benefit for Auburn as far as who they're competing with. And you look at it from right here, it seems like Auburn is the strong lead for him. That's another top 15 guy.
Yeah, and, you know, there would have been a time where, you know, if Auburn got somebody that Alabama was interested in or something, you know, they didn't necessarily want them, and, you know, we were second fiddle. For this class, that I'll take that. If that's what ends up happening, I'm
Right.
okay with that, using that competition as a way to ensure that we get some of these guys. But I'm with you. There's the momentum that is occurring right now needs to continue, and I think silences some of the concerns that Brian Harsin and his staff wouldn't be able to recruit in the SEC.
You know, there's one thing I want to mention. You know, we talk about Thompson a lot, and we talk about and we've talked plenty over the last 15, 18 years about Hoover. I'm going to tell you, man, Hewitt-Trussville puts out commitments. I mean, not commitments. They put out top prospects. Ricky Gibson, number 29 player in the state from Hewitt-Trussville. Auburn's got a boatload of guys on the team. Daslin Worsham, and the other kid that's playing wide receiver just slips my mind. They got a slew of guys in this list. They are putting out that region here in the state of Alabama is unbelievable. How tough it is. The Thompsons, the Hewitts, the Hoovers, the Oak Mountains. It is slam loaded, man.
I mean, and it's amazing to think about how concentrated that area is with talent year in and year out. I mean, if you look at the top 20 guys every year, probably 35, 40% of them are coming from that area. And so when you have that to pull from, you know, that's
And
great.
then Hunter Osborne, who's the 12th player in the state. He's from Hewitt, 6'3", 250 pounds. I mean, you know, per capita for what they put out almost as much as any other school in the state year in and year out as prospects. I mean, you're looking at a high school football team. You walk out there every year and you got 4 and 5 star guys. You know, we talk about Thompson and their, you know, loaded roster that they have, but man, Hewitt really kind of staying up there with Hoover and and really more than Hoover. You don't
Yeah.
really see any Hoover guys on here right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the funny thing about Hoover, especially in relates to this year, is they're going to put out another good team, be in contention for a state championship, but maybe not the highest of caliber in terms of prospects that we've seen them have before. But looking at that region again, that's just phenomenal, the amount of talent that's right there, and it I think highlights the point we were talking about earlier, just how difficult it is to come out of that region.
Phoenix City with a few in the top 10, continuing to put out really, really good talent there with A.J. Harris, Tamarian Parker, and Carmelo English. I mean, and all three going to different places. I mean, Carmelo English just committing to Auburn, Tamarian Parker, Penn State. That's a big get for them. And then, of course, A.J. Harris is committed to Georgia. That's the one lone Georgia commit right now in the top 10. Phoenix City, Hewitt Trustful, Thompson. Right now, Carver Montgomery's got 2 of the top 6. They got the number 1 player in James Smith, and then they got Quay Rusall at number 6. I mean, there's several pockets here in the state right now, Scott, that has a load of talent.
100%. And again, the teams that we're talking about will be the same teams we're talking about in November and December as teams that are competing for a state championship. So obviously that matters. But I think when you're talking about the teams that they face, if you're a team that has them on the schedule, it gets pretty tough. And especially if you're in that region, or if you're in the Birmingham area, you're in the Lee County, Russell County area, it's going to get pretty tough for some of these teams. And I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. We won't see it at this level probably for a couple more years, but even next year's class will have some big time guys. So it's going to continue.
You look at this class, and we're looking at 24/7, all the way down to player number 21 is a 4-star, and there'll be a reclass. There'll be a reevaluation period when the season starts. I mean, Dallas Young at Gardendale, T.J. Metcalf at Pinson Valley, Vincent Lang at Pike Road, all barely almost 4 stars. I mean, you're looking at going all the way down to player 26 or 27.
That could be a 4-star.
It'll be a 4-star. Most of the time in the state of Alabama, it's usually the top 10 guys. Mm-hmm. You have 1 or 2 5-star guys and the rest 4 stars. Then you get into 3 stars. It's double that this year, if not more. It's just unbelievable how loaded this class is.
Yeah, and so what is it? 5 stars in the class?
In this class?
Yeah.
No, there is 7.
7.
All the way down to Vizina.
That's stout. This is stout. Yeah, I mean, and we've been
We've
talking
never
about
had
it.
7 5
Yeah,
stars
I mean, and we've
stuff.
been talking about it since the beginning of last year, just about how crucial or how skilled this class was going to be, how talented they were going to be, and we're seeing it come to fruition. So at least as an Auburn supporter, you have to feel good that you're at least in the mix. That was my concern, was that we weren't even going to be in contention, because 6 weeks ago that was the case.
Well, let me put it in perspective for you. Right now in the class of 24, there's not even a 5-star rank. Now, that doesn't mean that there will be. I mean, it doesn't mean that some of these guys won't be reclassified and bump up. But for the most part, that just tells you how sick this class is to have 7 5-stars. And you flip forward right now, currently in the 24 class, there's a boatload of 4s. You got 4 stars all the way down to 14, but even there, Scott, you got 4 stars right now all the way down to player 22. That's going to add possibly maybe 2 or 3 more, if not more than that. Right now, it's cut off at 14 here in this class. So I mean, the ebbs and flows. I mean, just an overabundance of quality this year, no doubt about it. Up against our last break of the program. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here of the program. Been some good stuff. High school football, Scott, 40 days. I know we've said that several times, but it's just crazy to believe that we've gotten. The summer is just rocketing by. Media days, 18th through the 21st in July. Auburn set to go on the final day on Thursday. Hey, media days in Atlanta again this year, like it was in 2018. I don't know why the SEC felt like they needed to go on a little road trip a couple of times. It's been only the second time it's held outside of Atlanta. Outside of Birmingham. And the other one was in 2018. So just kind of with that being said, when we get to media days, it'll be fast forward, man.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to the season. Just I want to see if Brian Harsin and the staff and the players were able to put everything away that happened, in the off season, get back on track. We seem to be doing pretty well, at least in being in the mix with some of these guys from on the recruiting trail. I think that the addition of Ike Hughes to the staff has been great, and what everybody else is doing. Obviously, some of your Auburn guys that are on staff are doing great, but Auburn just has to win. They have to win some games, and it can't be 8-4, but you lost to Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and A&M, or A&M and Ole Miss, whatever it is. So you're going to have to win one or so of those games to really get some confidence.
One thing you talk about when you're making commitments and looking at why kids really choose, it's really about these assistant coaches. And Nick Eason, who was at Auburn, who went back to his school at Clemson, that was a big loss. Peter Woods goes on to mention, said, Coach Eason and I have a great relationship and had a great relationship when he was at Auburn. He said, really the only reason Auburn was one of my top schools was because of him. if you don't think that coach and that relationship makes a difference, you know, with his relationship with Nick Eason, you know, Auburn could have, if he would have stayed at Auburn, you could see a Peter Woods coming to Auburn because of that relationship. I mean, we've seen that happen time after time. So Nick Eason also a big reason probably why Peter Woods decided to go with Clemson. I mean, he says it basically right there, not just Dabo Swinney and that, but it's that relationship he built with another guy, and he's kind of following him there. It's where he feels the most comfortable, probably the guy he wants to be coached by at that position. So makes a big difference. So, Scott, that's going to wrap it up for the Saturday Sports Countdown. Always enjoy having you out here with me. A lot of fun. Again, just a few weeks, and we'll be kicking off the high school football season and college shortly after that. So we'll be to the wall here on Sports Countdown moving forward. So I hope everybody has a fun, safe weekend. Going to be a little iffy on the weather out there, but it won't be just a downpour everywhere. So make sure to get out and take advantage of whatever it is that you want to do. The World Games are in Birmingham for anybody that's interested in maybe going up there over this coming week. It's a pretty neat opportunity that doesn't come along very often. So get up there and participate in some of that if you'd like to. For Scott Hardy, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll be see you next week.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Hi, John. You have messages.
Not now, phone. I'm driving.
You know you want to text your friends.
Texting and driving is illegal. No distractions, period. People die that way. Eating, putting on makeup.
Scroll through your music?
Nope.
Your girlfriend just texted. She's bored.
Sorry, not worth dying for.
Good call. She seems a little clingy.
Don't text your life goodbye. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat and 2 sides or a meat and 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck Cheeseburger Basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.
Whoever you are, wherever you race, hit the track like a champion. The YZ250F and the YZ450F Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. Only from Yamaha.
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly, our guarantee to you.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Whoever you are, wherever you race, hit the track like a champion. The YZ250F and the YZ450F Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. Only from Yamaha.
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.